Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today topic of our discussion is laminar composite material, or simply we can say laminated composite material, or we can say laminates. Dear students, I am Dr. Yassin, and this is lecture number 11 from the course Applied Chemistry. Key concepts. Dear students, which concepts will be covered in this lecture? First of all, we will discuss that what are composite material. I hope you have a well concept about composite material and gain this concept from the previous lectures. After this, we will discuss classification of composite material on base of reinforcing phase as well as interface between matrix and reinforcing phase. In this classification, we will discuss the classification of composite material on the base of interface. That's our main topic in this lecture. After this, we will discuss structural composite material, and then we will discuss types of structural composite material, and after discussing types of structural composite material, we will discuss properties of structural composite material. Classification of composite material. This is classification of composite material on the base of origin of composite material. On the base of origin, there are two types of composite material. The first type is called traditional composites, or we can say natural composite material, and the other type is synthetic composites, or we can say man-made composite material, or the material which are synthesized by the man. The first type is traditional composite material, or we can say natural composite material. These are those material which present in the nature or have been produced by civilizations for many years. Example: wood, concrete, asphalt. And similarly, bones. We can say bones. Bones are also the composite material, that is the part of animal body. So these are the examples of traditional, or we can say natural composite material. These materials are present in the nature, or these are produced by the civilization for many years. Synthetic composites material. Modern material systems normally associated with the manufacturing industries, in which the components are first produced separately and then combined in a controlled way to achieve the desired structure, properties and geometry. In this method, these are the synthetic composite material, and these methods are adopted by manufacturing industries, in which first the components are produced separately. The components of the composite material are produced separately, and these components are then combined in a controlled way, in a specific way, to achieve the desired structure of the composite material, to achieve the desired properties of the composite material, and desired geometry of the composite material. Classification of composite material. This is the classification system of composite material on the base of size, shape and amount of reinforcing phase, as well as interface between matrix and reinforcing phase. Composite can be classified in terms of amount, shape, size and distribution of the reinforcing phase, as well as the interface between matrix and reinforcing phase. On this classification system, composites are classified into three major classes. The first class is called particle reinforced composite material. The second class is called fiber reinforced composite material, and the third class is called structural composite material. If it is a particle reinforced composite material, then it have further two classes. One is large particle reinforced composite material, and the other type is dispersion strength composite material. Fiber reinforced is also classified into two more subclasses. One is called continuous fiber reinforced composite material, and the other type is called discontinuous fiber reinforced composite material. As the name of the class shows that the reinforcing material will be present in discontinuous form. That's why the composite is called discontinuous fiber reinforced composite material. Continuous means aligned. The reinforcing material, which consists of fiber, the fiber of the reinforcing material present in continuous form or present in the aligned form. That's why that class of composite material is called continuous composite material. Discontinuous is further classified into more subclasses. One is a little bit aligned and the other is randomly oriented. If the fiber of the reinforcing phase are randomly oriented, then it is discontinuous fiber reinforced material, and if the fibers of the reinforcing phase are little bit aligned, not 100% aligned but a little bit aligned, then that type is called fiber aligned discontinuous fiber reinforced composite material. The third major type of composite material is structural composite material. That's our main topic of today's discussion, the structural composite material. It is further classified into two subclasses. One is called laminates, the other type is called sandwich panels, and we will discuss laminates and sandwich panel in detail in this lecture. As the name of the class shows that laminates, it means the material, the reinforcing phase as well as the matrix phase present in the form of layers. The layers will be placed up and below of one other material, and the other type of structural composite material is called sandwich panel. This panel, as its name is showing that it is sandwich, it means these materials have a sandwich geometry. Classification of structural composite material. Structural composite material are further classified into two subclasses: laminates, or we can say laminated composite material, and sandwich panels. Laminated composite material consists of sheets of continuous fibers. So we can say laminated composite material consists of different sheets of composite material. The laminated composites consist of different layers, and each layer has the fiber oriented in a given direction. See the below figure. The one figure present on the left side is showing unidirectional and the angle is 0 degree, and the right side figure shows the cross plied quasi isotropic material, and in these layers the angle is different. The angle of each layer is different. The first layer, the top layer, has 0 degree angle. The second layer has 90 degree, and below that the layer has 40 degree. This angle is showing the angle between the fibers oriented in one layer. If you see this first layer, the fibers are present in one axis only. The fibers are present in one axis. The angle between these fibers in that layer is 0 degree. You can compare the angle between the lines present in that layer. See, this line is going in this direction in one axis, and the other line is also going in that axis. So the angle between these two lines is 0 degree. It means the fibers in that layer are arranged at 0 degree angle. Simply, the layer means we can say that it is a mat which is knitted with fiber. The fibers in that layer present at 0 degree angle from one another. We have two types of axes. One is x-axis and the other is y-axis. If the fibers are present in one axis, only in one axis, and the fibers in the other axis are present in small quantity, but just keep in mind that fibers are present only in one axis in one sheet. The angle between the fibers will be the 0 degree. It means that sheet consists of fibers which oriented at 0 degree angle. If the angle between the fibers in that layer is 45 degree, so it means fibers are arranged at 45 degree angle. If the fibers are arranged at 45 degree angle, then it means it is a bidirectional, unidirectional. The fibers present in one direction only. Bidirectional, the fibers present in the layer in two directions. Which are those directions? X-axis and y-axis. The fibers will be present in x-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. See a mat. It is knitted with fibers. If the fibers are present in x-axis and then in y-axis, then it is 45. It is bidirectional mat. It is a sheet which consists of fibers in bi-axis, in two axes, and the angle between the fibers which are present in that layer may be the 0 degree, may be the 90 degree, and it may be the 45 degree. So unidirectional means the fibers in one layer present in single direction, and that may be either the x-axis or maybe the y-axis. That's why see here, all the layers consists of 0 degree angle. It means in all these layers, the fibers in each layer present in one direction only. Such mat which consists of fibers in one direction is called unbalanced mat. Unbalanced because it consists of fibers in one axis in greater number and the fibers in the other axis which are used to just tight the fibers, just hold the fibers in that axis, those are in smaller quantity. I repeat this point. In unidirectional, the fibers in one layer present in one axis only. The question is that, is there any fiber in the other axis? If a layer consists of fibers in x-axis, if that layer consists fibers in y-axis or not? Yes, this layer can also have the fibers in y-axis, but the number of fibers in y-axis will be very small and the number of fibers in x-axis will be very large. So there is unbalanced between the number of fibers in a one layer. So majorly we will see that the greater number of fibers will present in one axis. The angle between those fibers is 0 degree because the angle, because those fibers are present in one axis only. See this one, where different. So question is that where different number of layers are placed one above the other. The different number of layers are placed one above the other to give a specific strengthness to the material. It means the strength of a material, or we can say the strength of a mat, depends upon the number of layers it have. If the material have less number of layers, then it's weak material. The strengthness of that material will be small. If the number of layers in the material are increased, then its strengthness also increases. So what the angle is showing over here, it means the first layer have the fibers which are oriented at 0 degree, and the second layer have the fiber which are oriented at 90 degree. It means the fibers are running in x-axis and in y-axis. So this is bidirectional. This is bidirectional mat because it consists of fibers which run in both direction, and we can say this is a balanced mat. In one layer, the number of fibers in x-axis will be equal to the number of fibers in y-axis. See, the third layer, here the angle is 45 degree. It means it's a bidirectional mat, bidirectional layer. In this layer, fibers are also present in x and y axis, and the angle between the fiber in x axis and the fiber in y axis will be 45 degree. Here minus 45 degree, again minus 45, then plus 45, then 90 degree, and then 0 degree. So when bidirectional layers are arranged in this direction, then it gives us cross-plied quasi-isotropic material, where we can say it is an isotropic material. The properties will be the same of the material. The properties is a dependent, the properties will remain same in all the directions. Hope you understand what means the angles and what means the number of layers in one figure. So I shortly say the arrangement of fibers in one layer shows the angle between the fibers in that layer. If the fibers are running in one layer in one direction, or we can say in one axis, then the angle between the fibers will be 0 degree. And if the fibers are running in two axes, x and y axis, then that layer is called bidirectional layer, say bidirectional composite material. Structural composite material. Structural composite is normally composed of both homogeneous and composite material. The properties of which depend not only on the properties of the constituent material but also on the geometrical design of various structural elements. It means properties of structural composite material depend on the properties of constituent material and also the geometrical design. In the previous slide, I told you that different number of layers are packed in one sheet, and the arrangement, the fibers in one layer are oriented at different angle. It means if the geometrical design is changed, the arrangement of fibers in one layer is changed, the strength of the material, the properties of the resulting material is also changed. So properties of structural composite just not depends on the properties of constituent material but it also depends on the geometrical design of structural elements. Laminar composites and sandwich panels are the two most common structural composite. The first one is laminar composite. Laminar composite is composed of two-dimensional sheets or panels that have a preferred high strength direction such as is found in wood and continuous and aligned fiber reinforced plastics. The layers in laminar composites are stacked and subsequently cemented together such that the orientation of high strength direction varies with each successive layer. For example, adjacent wood sheets in plywood are aligned with the grain direction at right angles to each other. See, laminar composite is composed of two-dimensional sheets. It means each sheet consists of fibers in two dimensions. Why it is called two-dimensional sheet? Because in the previous slide I told you that each sheet consists of fiber. Each sheet is a mat and it is knitted with a fiber. Mat is knitted with various fibers. If the fibers are present, the fibers in that sheet running in one axis, then it is unidirectional sheet. And if the fibers in that sheet are running in two axes, x-axis as well as y-axis, then that sheet is called two-dimensional sheet. We can say laminar composite consists of two-dimensional sheets or panels that have a preferred high strength direction. So, by packing different sheets of our two-dimensional sheets, then we obtain a laminar composite material. Laminar composite material. Laminations may also be constructed using fabric material such as cotton, paper or woven glass fiber embedded in a plastic matrix. It means the matrix phase consists of a plastic and the reinforcing phase consists of a fabric material such as cotton, paper or woven glass, and the fibers of reinforcing material are embedded in a plastic matrix. Thus, a laminar composite has relatively high strength in a number of directions in the two-dimensional plane. However, the strength in any given direction is of course lower than it would be if all the fibers were oriented in that direction. One example of a relatively complex laminated structure is the modern ski. Modern ski. What is ski? Ski is a pair of long, narrow pieces of hard, flexible material which are typically pointed and turned up at the front, fastened under the feet for traveling over snow. It means ski consists of pair of long narrow pieces which helps to travel over the snow. The basic construction model of a ski consists of a laminated wood core at its center. The wood core is present in the center for the construction of a ski. The wood core is surrounded by composite layers above and below and side walls to the sides. It means the center core is made up of wood and present in the center. The upper part of the center core is made up of composite material and the lower part of the center core is also consists of composite material, and side walls are also attached to the sides of the center core. To this, a top sheet is attached to the top and the edges and base is attached to the bottom. Top sheet at the top and this top sheet also attached with the edges and base sheet at the bottom. The materials and shapes used for each of these layers and components can vary a lot. If the orientation of each composite material, the orientation of fibers in each layer is changed, the properties of the resulting material is also changed. So we can say the properties of the laminated composite material depends upon the orientation of fibers, or we can say the orientation of reinforcing phase present in that layer. Laminates. Laminates are multi-layered composite material. Fiber reinforced laminates is made up of appropriately stacking fiber reinforced plies. Plies means sheet. The reinforcing material consists of fibers. Plies consist of plies, or we can say it's a sheets. That sheet is made up of the fiber. When different sheets are packed together, are embedded within a matrix phase, then it gives us a laminated material. The laminates we are discussing in this section are in general, and these are made by putting sheets together. It means different sheets, each sheet is woven by fiber. Each sheet consists of a fiber, and when different sheets are put together, then it gives us a laminated material. The laminates we are discussing are general, which is made by putting sheets together, except for variety called fiber metal laminates. So the laminates may be the fiber metal laminates, in which the sheets consist of a metal fibers. Some of these laminates have been in commercial use for some time, while others are potential candidates for a variety of applications because of their superior properties. Properties of laminates. Laminates possess high strength at ambient as well as at high temperature. Laminated composite material possess fatigue resistance. They have a wear resistance. They also possess a biocompatibility. Examples of laminated composite material. Examples of laminated structural material can be found in nature and in historical man-made objects. The unique structure of laminates found in nature offers desired functional properties. Examples include bones, tooth, shells of muscles. These are the natural laminated composite material. The unique structure of laminates make them unique. The orientation of the fibers in a sheet gives them a unique property. That's why these laminated materials are called unique laminated material. Another example of laminated material is abalone shell. For example, abalone shell consists of protein layers separating the mesolayers. What is abalone shell? See the bottom of this slide. Abalone shells are made up of microscopic pieces of calcium carbonate which are stacked one on top of the other, almost like tiny blocks, which looks like brick layers. Each of these brick-like layers has a clingy protein material between them. This adds to the exceptional strength of the abalone shell. So what is abalone shell? Microscopic, consists of microscopic pieces of calcium carbonate. These pieces are placed on top of the other, and these pieces looks like brick layers, or we can say tiny blocks, and between these brick like layers there is a clingy protein material between them. So with this clingy protein holds the layers of the calcium carbonate together, and then it gives us a abalone shell. This abalone shell looks like a pearl, and it's used in artificial jewelry. Among historic examples, we should mention metallic laminates, which are made up of steel, that have been used to make samurai swords. Samurai swords are also made up of laminated metallic composite material. The famous iron pillar of Delhi consists of lamini of wrought iron. It means pillar of Delhi consists of layers of wrought iron. Other examples of laminated composite material include copper aluminium and copper stainless laminates. for use in kitchen utensils. These laminated materials are used in kitchen utensils. Researchers have explored multi-layered composites consisting of metal and metal ceramic laminates. Extensive work on ultra high carbon steel UHCS, ultra high carbon steel laminates, which have compositions very similar to ancient Damascus or Rhodes steel, showed excellent impact properties. And this material was discovered by scientist Verhoeven et al. In 1998 and Laser et al. In 1996. You can find the structure of UHCS in the paper printed by these scientists. As we are discussing structural composite material, and we discussed in the previous slides that there are two types of structural composite material. One is called laminated composite material, and we discussed in detail that what are laminated composite material, or we can say what are laminates. The laminates consist of plies, or we can say consist of layers, or simply we can say that the laminates consist of sheets which are knitted with fibers. And fibers, if the fibers present in one direction in one layer, then that material is called unidirectional. And if the fibers present in the one layer in different direction, or we can say fibers are present in x-axis or in as well as in y-axis, then that material is called bidirectional. And when different layers of the, or we can say different sheets are stacked together, are placed one above the other, then it gives us a material of specific strength. The strength of the material depends upon the number of layers present in that material. In this slide, we will discuss the other type of structural composite material, that is called sandwich panels. The sandwich panels have low density. Example, honeycomb core. The benefit, what is the benefit of sandwich panels? It's a lightweight and large bending stiffness. See this one. This is the fabricated sandwich panel. This is its cross section. See again, the cross section of the sandwich panel consists of different layers. The first top layer, face sheet. The thin layer, it's an adhesive layer, and then it's a honeycomb. And again, below the honeycomb, the other upper two layers are present below the honeycomb. When all these layers are packed together, then it gives us a sandwich panels. Sandwich panels consisted to be a class of structural composites which are designed to be lightweight beams or panels having relatively high stiffness and strength. A sandwich panel consists of two outer sheets or faces that are separated by and adhesively bounded to a thicker core. The outer sheets are made up of a relatively stiff and strong material. Typically, we can say it is made up of aluminium alloys, fiber reinforced plastics, titanium, steel or plywood. All these materials impart high stiffness and strength to the structure and must be thick enough to withstand tensile and compressive stress that result from loading. So sandwich panel is considered to be a class of structural composites, and its outer sheets are relatively stiff and typically made up of aluminium alloys, fiber reinforced plastics, titanium, steel or the plywood. And all these materials gives a stiffness and unique properties to the resulting sandwich panels.